So it is time to head out and do a little hunting. I'm actually going to hit up an area called Niles here in California that is full of antique shops. I want to say that there's probably 6 to 9 antique shops in this one little area that I haven't visited in about 6 years. So I'm super pumped to head over there to see if maybe there are some comics. Part of the reason why I'm excited about this is because several years ago, probably 15 years ago, I passed on an amazing opportunity. I was living in Maryland at the time. I hit up an antique shop that wasn't far from like a vacation house that I had. And I met the owner of the shop and we started talking about comics and stuff like that. And he was like, hey, well, I have this large collection out in the back shed. I own some commercial property. A comic shop went out of business and I have his inventory. The guy never picked it up. So I got access to this massive collection and I probably walked out of there with maybe 10 books. To this day, that haunts me because I wasn't really into comics when I had access to the collection. I had been out of it for decades. And I think that I really missed an opportunity. I don't know if an opportunity like that will ever present itself again. But I am always hopeful as a collector. I am always hopeful that the next stop, the next visit, could lead to something really big. And if not, I am still going to have fun along the way. So we're going to head out of here, and as best I can, I will try to capture some footage for you guys. So we are walking the streets in Niles, and I've actually been able to pick up a couple of books. I think we've hit like 5 or 6 antique shops already. Mostly we are coming up empty, but as I mentioned, we did find one shop that had some cool books. The next stop is a place called Memory Lane, and I think that they are supposed to be one of the larger antique dealers in the area with 17 different dealers. So we're going to head in here and see if we can find some good stuff. So I am back in the comic book room and I'm ready to share the books that I picked up earlier today. It was honestly a really fun day hanging out with my wife, hitting up a couple of antique shops. We actually didn't have an opportunity to hit all the shops that we wanted to hit because we realized that we were running a little short on time and actually needed to pick our kids up from school. So we didn't hit every single place that we intended to hit. But that just means that there is another video coming your way soon. So it was a good day because we actually hit this one place that had not only comics for dad, but some awesome toys for my kids. My wife was able to pick out from the shop basically all of the characters from the Toy Story movies. And my kids absolutely love Buzz and Woody and all that stuff. So she was able to pick up that stuff for the kids, and they've literally been playing with these toys all day. So that's a total win. We had a good time and the kids also benefited. So with that, let's get to the books that I have set off to my side. And unlike some of the videos that I've done as of late, this is a non-ASM haul. No, there's a couple of Spider-Man ASM books in here, but it's not entirely ASM. So the first that I want to show you is two books that I picked up in this little shop. A wonderful pair of older ladies thoroughly entertained me while I was in the shop. We had a really good time. So these first two books are directly from these ladies. And this first one is Silver Surfer #1. This is, I think, volume 2 or 3, maybe 3. But what's really cool about this is that this is actually, I believe, scripted by Stan Lee, and the cover is drawn by Mobius. I think that's how you say his name. I don't think that there's any significance or a significant value to these books, but I thought that they were really cool, again, given the history. So this is #1, and it's actually in pretty nice shape. There is not a spine tick or bend anywhere on this book. It is actually in really solid shape. When I pulled it out of the bag and started to examine it, the woman says to me, "You really know your comics, don't you?" So I think that's a good sign. And then here is #2. I think #1's cover is better than 2, but if you pick up the first one, you kind of sort of have to get the second one. So I think with this story, Silver Surfer is like a guy on Earth just kind of walking around, and then Galactus, I guess he comes and appears to be God and basically tells people, hey, have a good time on Earth. I haven't read it, of course, because I literally just picked it up, but I believe that that's the story. So more to come after I actually read this one. This next book actually came from the shop with the toys. And this is actually, I think, a pretty cool book. It is What If #1, and this is a what if Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four. This is a square bound book. It is in excellent shape. It is also a newsstand, and this book is really nice. This is definitely, like the last two, a high grade book. I think that it could benefit from a press, again, because it's square bound. You know, you have some indentations and things like that that go on with the staples, but this book overall is in excellent shape. It probably has to be at least a 9.0, if not better. White on the inside, white on the outside. Covers are excellent. So I'm definitely pleased to have this book. And as soon as I saw it, I just kind of set it to the side. I'm like, you are going home with me. So the next one is indeed an Amazing Spider-Man book, but it's an Amazing Spider-Man Annual #18. Absolutely no significance to this book other than the fact that I want to say I have 17 and a couple of 19s. So why not get 18? So there you go. Pretty nice book. Again, this is a high grade book. It has to be probably in the 9s. The wrap is not perfect. You can see that the $1 is kind of falling off the page here, and there is a slight indentation right here that you probably cannot see. But other than that, again, a really solid book. Next up, we have Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #12. And this book is in pretty decent shape, probably an 8, maybe a 7.5 to an 8. It has a big spine tick about right there. But other than that, again, this book is in solid shape. I picked this one up because I have only one copy of 12. And the one that I have came from my buddy, Comics with Bueller. He actually got it signed by Jim Shooter. And when I won his contest many moons ago, he actually threw that in for me. And so I'm definitely pleased to have that book. But I also wanted a second non-signed copy for the collection as well. So there you go. This next book is another book that I actually have, but when you see it, you have to get it. It is a classic black costume Spider-Man fighting with Wolverine. This is a Web of Spider-Man #29. And this is a really nice book. I was really lucky today in the sense that many of the books that I wanted were actually in pretty nice shape. And again, this book is probably in the 9s as well. I mean, as I'm looking at it now, and certainly as I looked at it earlier today, no spine ticks, no major damage to this book, inside or out. It's in really nice shape. And again, I already have a copy of this, but when you see it, you have to pick it up. And then the very last book that I picked up is, again, an Amazing Spider-Man book, which is not bad because there's only 2. in the entire stack, 3 Spider-Man overall, but this one is Amazing Spider-Man 244, a really awesome cover here. And what makes this one special, as you can see, and maybe you can't, is that this is the 3rd appearance of the Hobgoblin, and I want to say that he was actually brainwashed into doing whatever it was that he did in this issue. Again, haven't read it, but I hope to read it soon. But I picked this one up, and again, this book is probably not the best rap, but it is probably in the 9s as well. A really nice copy of this book, and again, brings me just that much closer to completing my run of Amazing Spider-Man. And again, I am not close, but getting closer with every single book that I picked up. Because I was a little pressed for time today, I honestly didn't get a chance to hit every shop. And in the last shop that I went to where I picked up the vast majority of these books, I was a little rushed and probably did not look as carefully through the books as I should have. There was a full run of the Weapon X story arc, and I am a huge fan of the Weapon X story arc. I actually have the full run already, but there was a second full run that I passed over. There was also, I want to say, a Professor Hulk appearance that I did not pick up. And there's probably a couple of others that I missed as I was rushing through the various long boxes and short boxes that were like throughout the store. So I'm probably going to head back over to that Niles area at some point. I'm going to definitely hit that shop up. And there were probably 4, maybe even 5 other shops that I did not even get a chance to go into, again, because we were a little pressed for time. So there's probably going to be another video headed your way sometime soon. But as always, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I definitely want to encourage you to do that so that you can stay abreast of all the content that I release on a weekly basis. And if you need me, don't hesitate to reach out at Regie Collects on Instagram. Take care.